Welcome to Keeping It Real with Dr. Linda Chinn. This is the podcast where real life choices meet biblical truth without the fluff. Tune in every second and fourth Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as Dr. Chinn shares faith-filled, practical insights to navigate everyday challenges. Get ready for real talk, real life, and real answers.
Good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of Keeping It Real with Dr. Linda Chinn. I am Audrey Bell Kearney, the producer of the show. Hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. Glad to see you here today with us. As always, we got another great guest today with Dr. Chinn, and today is called Mind Your Family Business. Now, I don't know exactly what she means by that because I never know until she starts to share what that actually means, but when you say business, I perk up because that's my thing. If you have heard this show over the last couple of years, you know that I love business. And she is a businesswoman herself. She does amazing things. She helps a lot of people. She provides a lot of guidance. And that's why we're so happy to be a part of what she's doing. I hope you guys are enjoying every episode. If you have not subscribed, I normally say this at the end of the show, but just in case you're listening at lunchtime or break time and you have to get off, if you have not subscribed to this show, be sure to subscribe to this show now and share it with a friend so you never miss an episode because they're always recorded and on demand. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up Dr. Linda Chinn and her guest, Colin Potter, and they're going to be talking about, what you need to do to mind the family business. All right. Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon.
Thank you, Audrey. Thank you for your energy and your joy. I thank you that you treat this show like it's your own. Amen. I appreciate that.
No problem, Dr. Chinn.
So I don't know if you remember, I had my older brother Chuck on. This is my nephew. This is Colin Potter. This is my nephew, right?
Hi, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is my nephew, and so I thank God that he said yes to the show, because you don't just bring up anybody. And we've been on the topic about the sanctity of relationships, and while we are a close family, when it comes to business, sometimes people can get a little lax because of relationships. So that's what we're going to talk about today, is minding your family business. Don't just mind your business, but also mind your family business. So welcome, Colin.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome. So let me tell you a little bit about Mr. Colin Potter. He's a wonderful person, not just because he's my nephew, but he's a very kind-hearted and compassionate man. I love the fact that he doesn't just talk to be talking. He's a good listener and he has an ear to hear. Professionally, he's general contractor and the owner of Potter Quality Remodeling, and it's a full-service remodeling company that focuses on combining quality craftsmanship in full service, and they focus on combining the craftsmanship with superior communication so that every process goes smooth. He knows what his clients and what his customers want. He's been in trade since he was a teenager, and he's quite not a teenager anymore, but he's been in the building industry for about 15 years. So he knows what he's doing, right? His background is automotive, right? He started out at Grasso Tech in the automotive, and he went on to studying diesel and technology at Lincoln Institute. And then he transitioned to his own business. Now, his passion is having a strong passion to push yourself and others to be the best version of yourself you can be. And if you look at him on his Facebook page, he's always got some nuggets of wisdom to share. His motto is always forward. So without further ado, we're going to ask Mr. Potter some questions today to let us know how he minds his family business.
I appreciate the introduction.
Yes. So tell us something about yourself that I didn't mention in your bio.
I'm a huge martial arts fan.
Really?
Yes.
Now, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
I was a practitioner for many years and stopped just a little after I got my business going.
Wow. So do you keep your hand in a little bit?
I definitely do my own training at home, but I'm looking to get back into it.
Good. So, Colin, how old were you when you started your business?
I was 28 years old.
Wow, really? Almost 30. That's a feat to me. Took a lot of courage, right?
Thank you. I went back and forth about it for a while. Would people take me serious at such a young age as a business owner?
Did you find when you started out that they did take you seriously?
I definitely think some took me seriously. Some wanted a little more information and things like that. But once you got talking and they could see that I knew what I was doing, the trust was there.
Once you got to talking, plus you're a great communicator, and you folks, you really are, and you focus on people. So at what point did you decide to hire family members? So let me ask you this: before you hired family members, did you hire other people?
Yes, I did. Before I hired family members, I hired outside and used some laborers here and there. And then I circled back to family members.
So do the others, have they stuck with you? Do you still have them on board?
So we have one on board and we call him an adopted brother.
I love, that's how the Potters do it, right? So at what point did you decide to hire family members? What was that thing that came to you that said, I'm going to hire family?
Using the family name meant a lot to me, and knowing that there's history in our family behind businesses with the family name meant a lot to me. So as the business, when I got to a point where I knew I think this will work, it started opening my mind to the idea of bringing family members in, and maybe not even in a long-term position, just so they know they have a place to come and grow and move on.
I love that, especially since you push people and encourage people to be the best version of themselves. So it doesn't only help give them a work ethic, but it also gives them character building tools too.
Yes.
Okay. I love it. I love it. I love it. So describe what family means to you.
If I was to take family, I would put it in a common denominator of understanding, forgiving, and loving. Family you can always come back to. There might be some hard situations to get through, but we always come back to family. And that's why I'm very deeply rooted in family.
I love that. I love it. I love it. And so, we live in different states, but we still stay close. That's what I love. And as you know, my siblings and I have a thing that we do every day as we text, but we live the family. And I was, the last time I was home, you said something very poignant. And I don't know if I ever told you that I heard you say it, but we were at a family gathering and someone didn't have a ride. And a family member said, I got to call a cab or I got to call Uber so so-and-so can get home. And you walked in the room and you said, do they really think that they need to call somebody outside the family to give him a ride? And I was like he was serious. And we're all older than you, but you have such wisdom and you show what it means. It's not just words, but you really show what it means to be family. And I love that about you. So did you put measures in place? So when you have family, a lot of times in business, it doesn't always go right? Sometimes it can go left. Did you put any measures in place to separate family relationship from business? Did you have to have like the talk, so to speak?
Not so much a talk, more that it's not personal, it's business at the end of the day. We have to make decisions based upon what's best for the business so the business can continue. So if we can establish that understanding there, I think the dynamic becomes much easier to work through any problems that might arise in the future.
So how did you set that? How did you establish that without having the conversation?
Well, I think it's a little easier because as of right now, I retain 100% ownership of the business. So it didn't have to go through a financial thing. And I think once they knew that, hey, this is a space where I sincerely appreciate you as an employee, I want you to grow here and I want you to give me feedback because I'm learning as well. It created a level of respect that everybody was learning and growing together.
I like that. I love it. I love it. So do you think thus far that you have created a space that or where you drop some nuggets on them that they actually take and use in different areas of their lives? Do you see them doing that? Do you see growth in them?
Absolutely. I think carpentry can be very frustrating and it could be very rewarding. And I think it shows you right off the bat that you can take your two hands and produce something by the end of the day that you are proud of.
Mm.
That's a wonderful feeling to have.
I love that. So it's not just remodeling. Do you create right out of your own head? Have you created anything on your own where you weren't doing a remodeling job for somebody?
Sure. We worked close with some customers that wanted some different type of wall art or furniture. We've done some custom basements that we added some nice live edge tables and things of that nature.
Ooh.
Custom shelving. Yeah. So we're looking to get more custom once we get a big shop.
Well, I love it. So has any family members come on who didn't have a carpentry background?
It's ironic. Amari, my nephew, is pretty much following in my footsteps. He was a graduate of Grasso Tech from the automotive class, and he came right into remodeling. And that was my similar path too. So I thought that was awesome.
I love that. So you have a protege.
I have a protege.
Wow. And he's young. So who knows what he can learn on the business side of it. So let's talk about the business end of it a little bit. So on the business end, how do you have family that treats it as a side hustle?
No, I think everybody understands how serious I take my business and return that same respect to me.
You know what a side hustle is, right?
Sure, not your full-time occupation.
Right. Thank you for making that clear. Right. And so some people, I know lots of people who do business and call it a side hustle, but don't really realize if you're going to do business, you're going to do business. Right. That's just my personal feeling about it. Right. You pay your taxes, you deal, you do what you got to do tax wise and so forth and so on. So have you ever had family members say, hey, Colin, hook me up with a job, and you had to turn them down?
Yes and no. Maybe not so much turn them down, just told them they needed to get to a certain place for me to hire them.
I love that wisdom. I love it. Are there any traditions or values that you would like to pass down through generations? Now, we know you have your nephew, you have Amari, but are there any traditions or values you would like to pass down through the generations, starting with him?
Yeah, I want them to know the significance of our name and the name we carry. And it's very important. When I was a child, my parents used to tell me you're a representation of us when you go out. So whether you're acting right or wrong, that's your name. And I want them to carry on that name, and I want them to feel proud to carry on that name.
Yeah.
And keep pushing the bar.
Yeah. Yes. Daddy was like that we couldn't do anything in town unless it got back to my father, good, bad, or indifferent, right? And there was just, if you were a part of, there were certain things you just didn't do because daddy knew everyone, and he was in politics, and he was in state and local politics. And so I love that you grasp that, and that your parents let you know this is the family name that you're carrying through. So there is something to be proud of in that. And what I learned, and I don't know if you know this or not, but we come from a history of business owners. Did you realize that?
So I've known about Potter's Barbershop, but I don't know of any others.
So we have an aunt, Virginia, also. Now listen to our family history on live. It's all good. But I'm just sharing with my nephew how we come from a family of businesses. She owned a daycare. She and one of her sisters, so our two aunts owned a daycare, and almost everybody who lived in that small town went to Aunt Virginia's daycare, right? And so even when they got old, yes, and I love that too, because at some point you're not just a business owner, but you're a teacher as well, are you not?
Yeah, 100%, yes. Teacher and student.
Teacher, that's what I'm talking about. I have. We don't talk about your model, but I, as a teacher, say you can't be a teacher if you're not a student. There's no way you can be a teacher if you're not a student. So you've got that tradition and those values to protect the family name, to be good and right and protect the values. Not only is it the family name, it's personal too. So what advice would you give to someone else who wants to start a family business? Has anyone ever asked you how you did it?
Not so much the process. I think they just ask about it. I think everybody's a little hesitant when they
Yep.
think about running their own business. They just want to know the management of stress. Is it worth the risk and reward? So yeah, the younger nieces and nephews have they've definitely started to scratch the surface with some questions, which is the whole point of it, especially at the younger age. You want to just put it in their head so they can start asking those questions.
And sit at your feet even.
Mm,
We all have someone's feet at home, we need to sit and just learn and be able to just talk freely, right?
mm.
Without judgment, without feeling like we're being bossed around and told what we need to do and what we have to do. And so do you think that you'll pass that drive on, that desire to start a business? Do you think it'll take fruit or take root?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Would you consider helping someone, even if it wasn't in carpentry?
Oh, 100%. I hope to be a part of whatever businesses they start. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a business, whether it be a nonprofit or
Mhm.
whatever they would like to get into. I would love to be a part of it in any way, shape, or form.
That's good to know. I love that. That's good to know. Have there been moments, Colin, when family loyalty conflicted with business interest?
Yeah, a couple times. But we nip it in the bud early. It's quite simple. If you're not living your life right or representing the values that we want to promote at the business, we just have to disconnect ourselves from you until you can come back to that place.
Do you help them to come back to that place, or do you leave them to figure that out, or do you tell them you can go here for help or you can go there? What's that process look like?
I'll never deny anybody help, but I only will help someone that is starting to help themselves.
I like it. I like it. I like it. So then how do you separate family relationships from, or do you, from business decisions? If you want to do something different or take a turn in your business or add something, do you consider family, or do you just really consult yourself as the 100% owner? How do you do that?
I really take the guys' considerations. Definitely, I want to know what they think about all of it. At the end of the day, it is my decision to make, but you got to feed the crew and you got to make sure those guys are going to go to war behind you. So I want everybody to be in on it and give me their input prior to me making the decision. So I
So
definitely
you,
bring everyone's attention.
I like that. That's good. You include them in it.
Yes.
So you said that so that they can go to work behind you or war behind you.
Go to war behind you.
Mm.
It's demanding to go work in physical labor and to add the uncomfortable weather into it. It's not the most great situations to work in. And I want my guys to know, one, I would never send them in to do something that I wouldn't personally do or I haven't done in the past.
Mhm.
And two, I also want to get feedback about their lives too. I want to make sure their lives are comfortable or we could be working so I know that they're taken care of well. If they're taken care of, they'll take care of me. And that's
Mhm.
just a push pull conversation. That's just how that works in that relationship.
So as a business owner, as an employer, you care about your employees, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I want them to feel a part of the family as soon as they come on. And one of the guys, we call him our adopted brother,
Mhm.
Pat. Pat has three little girls, and watching Pat take Amari under his wing, he's such a great teacher, and I think a lot of that comes from him being a great father. And I think it just ties back into, and that was like unbeknownst to me that relationship would form, but it was such a beautiful thing to watch, and it's a beautiful thing to watch and grow.
Wow. Wow, I like that. So no one feels like you're getting in their personal business, like no one feels like you're crossing lines or anything.
No, I think they know I'm there to support them 100%.
Beautiful. I love that. So what was how talk about this always forward? How was the motto and tagline always forward birthed? And I was telling people at the beginning to check out your Facebook page because every day you give something inspirational. Talk about that a little bit.
So I'll start with the always forward. I started my carpentry career in South Windsor, Connecticut, the greater Hartford area. I didn't know any of the roads. I still had the old school GPS that wasn't really as responsive as you needed it to be. So I relied on the other carpenters to give me directions. And we had one carpenter in particular named, we called him Uncle Willie. And Uncle Willie was a man of many sayings, a little rough around the edges, but he had great wisdom. And every time I would ask him straight, he would say, no, forward. I didn't really understand that for many, many years until I started to actually go out on my own and work on progress. And once I started tracking progress, I started to notice that it's not a linear path.
Mm-hmm.
Forward momentum could be a zigzag path. You're still making progress, but it's not a straight path. So it's not always straight. It's always forward. We're always moving forward.
Wow. I love now. So you just taught me something, right? You just taught me something. So where do you get your nuggets from? It's like you sit and you ponder these things, and every day it seems like you come up with something like, well, how long did it this I'm saying to myself, how long did it take him to come up with this? So do you sit, do you meditate? Where does that come from?
So I like to use about 3 different places. I do like to meditate. I try to meditate for 10 minutes a day in the morning to clear my head. I also like to listen to motivational speeches from a plethora of different people, from religious leaders to military leaders to psychologists and other doctors. And then I like to hear what the general public what's troubling them. And how can we be proactive about it? Because we can all complain every day.
Mm-hmm.
And it started during COVID, I think, is when I started writing every day or more. And I felt like people just needed a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of something sane.
Something saying yes. So your wisdom appeals to people of all ages, all colors, all backgrounds. I love that. So do you take time to come up with this with your daily inspiration? Do you do that at night? Do you have like a week's head already? Does it just come to you?
If I
How
was
do you
to show,
develop it?
so if I was to turn the screen around and show you my coffee table, which I won't, you'd see sticky notes all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
I'll hear something and I'll write it down and I'll think about it more. And I also read a lot of books too, but I take it from everywhere. It could come from anything. And it could come from just watching a simple moment. I like watching my friends raise families. Watching people overcome challenging things. And I just take a little bit from everybody and put it in my toolbox. And then when I need the tool, I pull it out and try to use it.
Pardon the pun. So do you still dabble in the automotive any?
So I like to service my own vehicles for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely plan on putting a lift in the shop once I build that. So yeah, I have not removed myself from automotive.
Okay. Will you take that into another area of business, do you think?
Not so much another area of business, but I do think that the younger generation, especially what I could teach them, is that the 2 most expensive things they'll probably put money into in their life will be their home and whatever vehicle they travel in. So if we can teach them how to fix some of that or preventative maintenance on some of that, I think they'll definitely have a leg up against the competition.
I love it. I love it. As you keep on teaching, keep on learning. So on the business side again, are you still learning carpentry?
Absolutely.
What are you learning about carpentry at this point?
I'm learning about being a business owner. So working on the business, I'm learning about working in the business, and my crew is younger and green, so I do need to be there more. But yeah, I'm learning every day. I mean, there's so much progression and new technologies and new products that come out, new energy efficient codes that come out. So I'm always learning and reading. I follow some really, really talented craftsmen, from engineers to architects, just so I can see the products they're using, the books they're reading, the places and climates they're working in. Are they similar to mine? So yeah, I really try to learn as much as I can every day.
So you're not only keeping the business relevant, because this is what I heard, as you are learning different codes, and I'm sure that they must change right from city to city or county to county, do they?
Yeah, sure. State to state.
State to state. So it's not just doctors and lawyers who need to stay up and practice right their craft, but it's also carpenters and I would imagine electricians, now that we think about it, as well, to stay up to code. How do you do that?
I think if you can find, I don't promote social media too much, but I think if you could find a really, really good professional in your industry to follow that does content creation, that helps, because I got to be able to offer my customers products. I can't just give them one thing, the local product. I want to be able to offer the best solution for that best scenario for that particular customer. I only know about these products and these techniques by watching and following and learning others.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the supply houses and the vendors, they're very good at putting out information, giving you access to information. So yeah, there's a lot of learning opportunities out there for sure. You might have to dig a little bit, but they're out there.
Do you share that with the family, with the employees?
So 2 of our employees tomorrow will be going to training for RRP. We started getting into lead abatement and lead renovation. We work on a lot of older homes that unfortunately have a lot of lead paint, especially in cities. So yeah, we're getting them trained on that and going down that road too.
I love it. I love it. Have you ever had someone talking about minding the family business? Has anyone ever asked you for a special favor? Because look, man, I'm family. Can you do this? Will you do this? And how do you deal with that?
I hear this common saying in business. They say, don't work for family. And I don't really agree with that. I'll work for family, no problem. You just need to say what you mean and mean what you say. If you want to help on a Saturday, I'll come help you on a Saturday. If you want a job done, I'm going to bid it just like any other job. And that's as simple as I can break that down. But no, everybody's been pretty kind to me.
And respectful.
Definitely. And I think part of it's the work ethic, though. They know I work. They know I work hard, and I care about what I do. And I care about taking care of my clients, too. So I would love to give everybody the time and respect that they're afforded.
I love it. So as you grow older, and you're quite young now, I realize that, but as you grow older, what are your plans? Have you thought about what you will do with the business?
Yeah, I think the business will grow, but I don't have a plan to grow it to 10 crews, 20 crews. I want to make sure everybody gets trained properly. And like I said, I also want the employees to know that this could be a stepping stone for you. Amari's young. I don't expect him to stick around just because the Potter name he shares. He's always welcome here. But if this carpentry takes him somewhere else, cool. I'd love to see him go grow in another place if that's what he wants to do.
I love that.
Basically, just maintain the business and always keep a space.
So you don't plan on having multiple crews? How are you going to keep it at a size where how do you keep from growing? I guess you just say no to opportunities.
I don't want to say keep it from growing. I think you can be very efficient with a crew of 4 to 5 people. And the other side of that is customers having realistic expectations. You don't want to turn down, if I turn you down, say, no, I can't get to you for 2 months. And then you go hire Joe Schmo and then you call me back and say, hey, he messed up. It's going to cost you a little more now. So I think people are more willing to wait when you provide quality work.
I love it. So how many crews do you currently have?
So right now we are a team of 4 and we break up into 2 teams usually.
Okay. Do you want it to get any bigger than that?
Yeah, I would like to maybe get to about a team of 8 so I don't need to be running every crew every single day.
I love it.
That'll give me a little more time to work on the business to make sure everybody has what they need and the business grows in those aspects.
When an employee makes a snafu, how do you handle it?
The first thing I need them to understand is they don't need to think about the money. How are we going to pay for this? I messed this up. It's going to cost so much money. That's my job. That's what I'll do. We just need to worry about why the mistake was made, what we can do to correct it, and how we're not going to do it again. That's all.
So you don't do the bashing. I love it. You're not trying to make anybody feel poorly about themselves, family or not. I love it. I love it.
It's I don't find it productive to do the bashing. And the man who taught me, one of my mentors who I worked for 10 years, he had a very strict rule about if there was a problem, that's a private conversation. No one else needs to hear that. And that's one of the things I learned. And that I think that gives you a lot of respect from employees.
Mm-hmm. I learned from a wonderful, he was my pastor, who said you praise in public and you correct in private.
I love that.
Yeah, I did too. You don't embarrass people in front of others. So do you have employee referrals? Or any of you, the family want to bring on somebody else? Uncle Colin or Brother Colin, can you hire so-and-so?
No, I not yet. We get them here and there, but I don't think they're that 100% serious yet. I think we do need to have some days where we bring in some people just for some internships and just to kind of see what our pace is like and what our dynamic is. We have fun. We laugh and we smile every day. We might work very hard, but we enjoy each other's company. And I think a lot of people like that piece of it.
Oh yeah, that atmosphere, and I'm sure you all do have fun. I can only imagine. All right, so who have you brought? I don't mean like to name names, but have you brought anybody on that has no carpentry experience, that has had none?
So the guy I will call my lead was an electrician for 17 years.
Mm-hmm.
Very little carpentry experience, if at all. But just his knowledge being in the trades and his knowledge of critical thinking led him to be a good carpenter. And more, I put more responsibility on him, and I'm just utterly surprised by his end product every time.
So you don't do on the job. So is that what you call on the job training?
Everything is on the job training, 100%.
Oh, wow. Okay. So now that he has that other trade, does it weave in any way in the remodeling business?
Yeah, 100%. So his experience, and again, it brings a plethora of product knowledge that I don't have. I might not know about every light or lighting solution or lighting schemes that are out there. He does. So he's able to bring that piece. So now we're able to complete a room in-house, and we can have that conversation with the customer in-house without me having to bring in a subcontractor or reiterate what the subcontractor tells me to tell the customer.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So tell me, where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
I see us having a large shop that we're working out of, and I see us getting into adding the lead abatement to the business, full lead abatement crew, and adding in some more woodworking and fabrication in the shop. I want to do some furniture and some other things of that nature.
Cabinetry, things like that.
Yeah, tables, cabinetry, floating shelves. I'd like to use a lot of locally sourced wood. Yeah.
So does that mean that you will go into, you'll have a shop from where people can go and choose items to bring into their homes?
Yeah, so we'll do like a little display area, and then I want to, when you think of home-based businesses, they don't always lead themselves for the greatest place for employees to come wash up before they go home or, clean themselves up. So I do want a facility that can facilitate all these different aspects of the business, give the guys a place to load the trucks in the morning, park the company trucks in the morning, wash up before they go home so they're not coming home covered in dust and muck and the grime from the day. And I'd also like to give customers a place to come see a couple different products so we don't have to just show you pictures and emails, like let you come see and put your hands on something.
That's good, and that's important. And I love the fact that you care about how they go home. right? I care about how you present yourself when you go home. My dad used to work at Electric Boat, right? And there were times when Daddy would come home and we would get bits of steel, right, in our finger just from hugging him, right, or just touching him, because that's how he had to come home. There really was no place for them to go and get themselves together before coming back to the house. I love that. I love it. So, do you feel like the employees know the importance um, of not just protecting a name, but of protecting the Potter name? Because when you name the business Potter Quality Remodeling, I'm like, that's pretty brave, right? To me, that's a brave thing to name a company.
I didn't realize it at the time. And then once I thought about it, I had to switch the way I conducted myself and everywhere I went now because my name is on the business. So once I knew that within myself, I was able to carry myself and convey that to everyone else that's a part of the business.
That my name matters. That our name matters.
You are a representation of me when you are wearing that shirt that says Potter Quality Remodeling.
Let's see the logo. I want to see the shirt. We love it. I love it. I love the color. Very nice.
I appreciate it.
Very nice. I'll look for my shirt. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we're going to be making some more soon and getting them out there for people to buy.
So good. So is there anything in the family business and thinking about minding the family business? What advice would you give someone who already has a family business? Or have you worked with any family businesses where you would say to yourself, they could tweak that, they could think about this, and where you just may not offer the advice, but now here's your opportunity?
I haven't got the chance to work with too many family businesses. A couple husband and wife teams I've seen out there. Those were interesting dynamics because you work with your partner and then you go home with your partner. So it was interesting to see how those relationships were on job sites. But from what I saw, it was strictly business as usual, you know. I think people that have a family-based business, you need to go in understanding that there has to be a set of guidelines and understanding and clear communication prior to any talks about money, business. We need to get all that out of the way first. What are our goals as a family-based business? And how do you value this?
So do they go through this hiring process, a regular hiring process?
Absolutely.
You do background checks and applications and all of that too?
Absolutely. And a 30-day trial period.
See,
We have to make sure you're a good fit for the team too. I can't just throw anybody on the team. We have to work together. We work in some what could be dangerous scenarios and situations. So that trust is huge.
And that's how you mind the family business, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm serious because so you think about people who work for family, that relationship, you can't take the relationship for granted. That's just my personal opinion. You can't take the relationship for granted. And while I have a ministry, my husband and I also have a business. But even while hosting something, I remember hosting something some years back, and a family member, we had scheduled a family member to have a teaching session. And just like anybody else, they were going through some things and dealing with some things. And kind of at the last minute, almost, I had to say, you can't do this. I'm going to have to put somebody in your place. And they understood it. They completely understood it. It was a private conversation and there were no hard feelings between us. Right. So that it's important that people know just because your family doesn't mean that's not an opportunity. It doesn't give license to behave in a wayward fashion and still expect to get the family treatment or the hookup. Right.
Yeah. I think they need to understand that I'm prepared at any moment to make the best decision and the right decision for the business. And I hope that doesn't hinder our relationship. But they need to know that's where my thought process is first and foremost.
I love it. I love it. So I had a question on the top of my head. Oh my goodness. What is something that you would advise somebody not to do in a family business in order to mind the family business? There any things or experiences that you have that you would share that you would not do again?
I wouldn't try to do it all on my own. I think some outside help, whether that be mediation, that could be through a plethora of sources, CPAs, lawyers, business coaches. I think I would get a little more information from them before trying to merge everything together.
That's important.
It is. It's hire professionals who are better than you in other aspects in your business. That is
Yeah.
business in general.
Yeah. Sometimes the shortcut is ends up being the long way around, right?
Yeah. And as much as we would like to learn every aspect of the business and be able to do every aspect of it ourselves, that outside help is important. And the outside perspective is important because they're able to tell us like, hey, that family is getting a little too in the way of the business. You know, and that's when you're able to step back and reflect.
I love it. So we also had a case where we had a family member wanting to rent, one of the houses that we own, but the rent that they wanted to pay was it was insulting. You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
And so how do you feel at that whole hook a brother, hook a sister up, or hook up a cousin? You don't understand. How does that make you feel?
It is a push and pull thing. If I am here to help you grow as a stepping stone, and I guess we can lean towards that hook a family member up. But that's only in so many ways because we have to remember that I have to see you helping yourself. If there is no type of that on the table and you just want the hookup, that doesn't even exist. It's not even on the table. Don't think it is.
Business is business, isn't it? At the end of the day,
it has to be.
You got to mind our family business. All right, well, Audrey, I know you've heard us talking, and as usual, I bet you have some notes. You've taken some notes. I have some questions or comments. Come on up and let us know what you think about Mr. Potter and my discussion.
First of all, I am so impressed, bruh. Let me just say this. I got a page full of notes. I'm just going to show you like notes. Look, I will not ask you all of these, but I will say this. My husband and I recently started on a new venture together. And what I had to I've been an entrepreneur for 20 years. What I had to learn was I need to meet him where he is when it comes to us doing business as a family together. How do you handle like when you have a family member and you see that they have certain strengths, right? But they don't want to play up to their strength. They don't want to work up to their strengths. How do you handle that part? Because I know what his strengths are, right? I see them very clearly. And if I'm not careful, I can say the wrong thing to jeopardize the marriage. How do you handle that?
You know, carpentry is tough because they're gonna fail, and that's a confidence killer. And it's like you might have done 7 things wrong, but you did 2 things really, really well, and that's what we're gonna build off. The 2 things you did really, really well, and we'll start adding in this. And I don't even want to say the things you did wrong. It's the things you didn't do as well as you could have. So we like to teach attention to detail is big, and the pressure of not worrying about the mistake is huge. Grow, fail often, and you'll get closer to winning.
I love that. And then my last question, I won't ask you all these, Colin, but I do want to I want to talk about the lean team. I thought that was really good. Because where we are right now, jobs are disappearing left and right. I don't know if you heard it this morning, but John Deere is laying off a bunch of people. So farmers are struggling. Everybody's struggling. But what I heard you say was you want to keep your team lean to 8, get to 8 and scale. How do you see yourself scaling? Are you going to be using technology and automation once you get to that 8 to help you scale so you can get to the next level without bringing on more manpower?
You know, I keep going back and forth with technology and adding technology in. Part of me says I would be stupid to not take advantage of the technology that's out there that would make my day-to-day job easier. The other half of me says the in-person communications and relationships will make your business 10 times more valuable. People don't want to talk to AI. They don't want to sit and go through a prompt. If they can hear human voice, or if we can have some type of connection, that's just going to make our business relationship better for all parties involved.
And that's pretty interesting you say that, because I much as I do AI, I tend to agree with you that much, because I hate, as much as I do AI, I hate talking to AI. And I do it every single day, but I hate talking to it. Um, Last question. Culture. Well, let me say this. You said something, and I was like, "Oh my God, he need to put that concept to the side and sell it." That whole concept about cleaning up before you leave work to get home. I was like, that needs to be a part of the franchise system. And I don't know what you're thinking, but I'm like, that should be a part of your franchise. That was one. And then Dr. Chinn asked you about coaching other family members who's trying to start a business. I thought that was great too. So that's the whole education side. I feel like you can go there. But how do you create the right culture for your company? And then I'm done.
Ooh, how do I create the culture for my company? I take the values that I try to live by and what I would want to see. And then I think about it from a customer perspective too. Who would I want to hire to be inside my home? It's personal. But it's very personal. People don't have the time to throw away all the pictures and put everything away. So how would I pick the people who are going to be in my life and who are we going to go into this relationship with? So it's very important to have a very good character. And I think part of my writing is very much tied into my business. They share the same beliefs and principles.
All right.
Yeah, I love
This
it.
has been really good, Dr. Chinn. So I turn it back over to you before we close it out.
Colin, do you have any last words?
I just want to say I am so appreciative for this space and to be able to sit here and talk about this. This has given me great insight on my business and places where I'm going to think about more. So I appreciate both of y'all.
Thank you. And I appreciate your saying yes. And as Colin always says, always forward.
Amen.
The path is not always going to be straight, but you can still be progressing and maybe make a turn or two, go zigzag. So I'm just grateful for that. I don't have anything to add to that. Always forward doesn't necessarily mean you have to go straight.
I love that. Listen, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. As usual, another great episode. And I know somebody out there right now is trying to figure out, should we start this family business together? Because we have heard that running a business with family could be a mess. But Colin is showing you that it doesn't have to be. It does not have to be a mess. And you can be profitable and have a good time and have a nice culture and great values. Go back, listen to the episode again, because he said a lot of great things. You saw my notes. So if you weren't taking notes, go back and listen to it again, because he said a lot of great things, especially if you're trying to start a new business. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe to this show, whether you listen to it on Apple, Spotify, iHeart, wherever it is, and it's everywhere. YouTube, listen, Amazon Music, we're there too. If you listen to it, wherever you listen to it, subscribe to the show. Go to Dr. Chinn's page, lindachinnministries.com, to subscribe and find out more about all of the great things that she's doing to help our community and to help our global world around as we are around the world. Dr. Chinn, thank you as always for bringing on great guests. And Colin, thank you so much for saying yes. We'll be back in 2 weeks, same place, same time. So until next time, make it a great day. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Peace.
You've been listening to Keeping It Real with Dr. Linda Chinn. If you enjoyed this episode, hit the like button and share it with a friend. Be sure to support the show by going to lindachinnministries.com. Subscribe to the show so you never miss an episode, and tune in again in 2 weeks at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, keep the faith and keep it real.